that is the Gold Cup hero. Two of the most admirable chasers you could possibly wish to see.
Relentless, remorseless, and pounding Cheltenham Star into submission.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Racehour podcast, brought to you with our friends at bookmakers.co.uk. It's me, Dean Ryan, in the towers of bookmakers.co.uk. Diarmuid Nolan is here.
Hello.
Hi, Demo. And Dave Weldon is back again. Dave.
How are you doing? You well?
I'm good, yeah. Have you recovered from your pummeling of last week's podcast?
Yeah, just about.
Good man. That's what I like to hear.
Touchy subject.
Hey, look, if you never have an opinion.
Are you feeling precious, Dave?
I like it. Yeah, well, just be aware. I did call Demo effervescent once on this without knowing what the word meant.
Yeah.
We've all done things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome to another edition of the Race Hour. Let's kick off with some of the hot topics of last weekend. We will do a weekend preview as well. Fingers crossed racing is on because we're suffering a few blank days. And as we are suffering a few blank days, I think this time last year, Demo, we did the 15 favourites at Cheltenham yes or no game.
That's exactly. That? Yeah, and it all went down quite okay only. I think we got half right maybe.
We got it all wrong.
Yes, we had Paddy and David Weldon on last year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get Paddy today, so we have a Mr. Weldon.
He's blasting away on radio elsewhere. The good man.
Yeah, good man. Yeah.
But we are going to have a little replay of that game in the final part of this show. I think I've got down about 14 races to go through. Yes or no will be played, and we will try and come up with a lucky 15. It didn't win last year.
It did not win last year.
No, it did not. Okay, let's start with Altior. Back at its preferred trip, ballooned a few fences. Devastatingly good after the last, though. Altior is a monster. Still the one to beat for me in the champion chase, although I love Shiskin and the one that can't win is Defi de Soy.
I would never be going near the phrase can't win in that race. I think we're very lucky. We're kind of sitting on the precipice now of one of the greatest champion chases I think in a long time, and this is our generation now. So this is kind of it could be a really good race. He was really good, I thought. I mean, he ballooned a few, but when you think about it, that kind of was his first run of the season. The 2.5 miles racing at Cheltenham just didn't work out at all. They pulled up stumps. They obviously just went back to basics with him, and this was
and then
theoretically
had the issue as well with an abscess, so to say, and he wasn't right, and he was going to run, he wasn't going to run.
He was just fresh as hell for those first few. Now his jumping anyway isn't his biggest asset. Like that's a simple fact of things,
I think with a horse like him who can doss against inferior yokes, he's entitled to jump as he wants. There was an issue that he was starting to jump a little bit the wrong way round, wasn't there?
Because he was just
changed his legs and stuff.
He was dossing too much, so like you would still have that fear with him that he'll hit the flat spot at the wrong time, and he's dealing with two much better horses here in Cheltenham Festival and Defi de Soy, and they could just get that far away from that. You might catch it, but his engine I just think he's so good. I mean, he doesn't run like a 10-year-old. He's just getting a bit more clever in himself as well, where he's just keeping himself for the right part of the race. When Nico went after him, there wasn't one moment where he went, oh no. Same as last year's champion chase, same in every run he's really had. I said last week, and I've been saying all season, that I still think he carries in the best form into this race. He matches Cheltenham Festival on form, on a line through Min, and Defi de Soy has done nothing that Altior hasn't done. So I still kind of can't quite believe his price. Going into the festival, we'll have a 2-1 and 9-4 Altior, which is just phenomenal. And he's my champion chase horse.
If you'd never seen any horse racing before and someone explained to you what form meant, you'd be all over Altior, wouldn't you, Dave?
I don't know about that, but throwing under a bridge here, dude.
No.
He was grand the weekend. Altior, he was grand. He was fine, right?
Okay.
My question is, he had to go into turbo to beat So Royal and Diarmuid Nolan, who's coming back after a year layoff.
Yeah.
And only beaten by 4 lengths.
Yeah.
He's not going to have that luxury against Cheltenham Festival and against Defi de Soy.
He wouldn't need to. I think Nico did what he had to do with him. Do you think he was under any pressure in the race at any point? He looks like he is.
He looks like he is. That's my problem with him. He always looks like it. I remember standing watching the race last year with you at Cheltenham, and he'd be here. And
we were like, no, he'll be fine,
he'll
be fine, because you know he's going to be fine.
And the in-play market looked like that as well. He didn't go bigger than even money. But this is by far a better champion chase than last year's, and the year before that he won. This is by far his biggest test, even probably bigger than Surname, because he looks like a stayer and gets outpaced and then has a kick, so he runs like a stayer. So my fear for him would be that he gets too far behind I would argue that Shiskin beat Min better than Altior beat Min 2 years ago. Forget about last year. Last year they tried something different with Min, didn't work.
Yeah, you can draw a line.
Draw a line for that. So the year before, he probably bet Shiskin beat Min better than Altior did. So the advantage there to Shiskin, and I would suggest that Defi would also beat Min further than Altior has beaten Min. So I would have it probably Defi in front slightly, and Shiskin and Altior just behind them. That's my opinion.
Yeah. It's wrong, but it's fine.
It could be right.
I'm good at wrong opinions.
It could be right. I mean, if we ask 15 people right now, they'll all have slightly different 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of race to. I wouldn't be a million miles away from David all. I think Altior will beat Defi, who will beat Shiskin.
Okay.
And I think it's one of those races where if anyone rubbishes anyone's opinion on this race, they're an idiot, because it can go any which way.
Well, see, I don't have Defi in the equation in the 3.
But right,
I'm the only one who doesn't have Defi. I love Defi de Soy.
All it takes,
but not for this race.
All it takes is for Altior to need a big jump at the last before his turbo kicks in, and absolutely make a horrocks of it.
Well, that's a massive if.
Yeah,
he's not likely to do that.
To be fair to him, he doesn't. When he has been asked for a jump, he's never been found wanted.
But he's never had to been rousted so much that if he doesn't make a jump,
last year
he's not going to win.
You could argue that was at the weekend.
Last year as well, he was coming to the last year.
He had to make a decent jump at the weekend.
Yeah, he was fast last year Champion Chase as well. Coming to the last year.
The argument is that he had to get from A to B on Saturday and last year, and Nico was always confident that he'd be able to go by them in the end. Whereas if, say, Shiskin and Defi are 2 lengths ahead and he needs a jump to get there and then kick on, what will happen?
I don't know. He needed needed a 2 against Min also. I don't have that fear with him at all. Yeah.
Nico knows that when the afterburners kick in,
a segment called Nico knows.
He goes past whatever's there, right? So you can put Usain Bolt there after the last. Obviously, it's a horse. He's
gonna beat Usain Bolt.
That's not gonna work. You could put the equivalent.
Yeah.
And he'd take him on.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd do enough. I'm just delighted that he's A1 and they're going for.
Mikey Fogarty said at our preview night last year, none of us really know, and to be honest, none of us really know what this year.
Well, I think I made the comment before on Twitter when we were having some chat about it last week that the only one who knows who's got the best form going in is Altior.
Yeah.
And we can't ask him.
No, fingers crossed. Touch wood now. All 3 will make it there. Don't go up and trip with Defi and Shiskin makes there because he's been fragile.
It's all confirmed.
So fingers crossed. 3 will make it there. And we get the race we want.
The 3 are in it.
The Moscow Well Chief Isotope Champion Chase.
Yeah, we've had some great divisions. I mean, Altior, you would say he's had a bit of a free pass for a little while, but that's kind of because everyone just went, well, I'm not turning this horse into a 2-mile chaser. We're going elsewhere. Okay, Native River. Who wants to go?
I'm not as enthused by it. Love the horse, but my God, that Grand National way, which we'll move on to afterwards, that he got, he has to go for that. Dover just missed the Gold Cup. He
can run in both though. It's a trial for a national as well.
I don't think he's good enough to win the Gold Cup. I think it's also a needlessly. The Gold Cup is a tougher race to come back from than the Grand National is. So I think to go for a Gold Cup and then the Grand National. He's not
a horse you can give a quiet ride to in a Gold Cup as well.
No,
they're going to
have to go for, which just empties a horse, completely finishes them off. So he hasn't looked the same horse to me. This was a good performance, but he's still what's he beaten Secret Investor by 4 or 5 lengths. It's nothing special. He's a really lovable horse. You don't want to fault him at all, but I think his future lies in a Grand National where he'll be running off what looks a competitive mark compared to this now, to be honest.
Seeing the owners aren't keen, we'll talk about the National and Tiger Roll and those weights in just a sec. Native River did what he was expected to do as a 5-2 on favourite, and they did keep the blinkers, didn't they? So yeah, I'm with Paddy Aspel there. If they let him off, I would have been more interested.
It's going to diminish now further.
But the price has gone for the Gold Cup because everyone's been talking about it as in an uncertain year, this horse is going to run its race.
The only way I'd have him on my radar is if it came up soft.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And he would have been on my radar at 25s and 33s when everyone was talking about the sexy horses. But he's not now. He's like 12-1.
Yeah, no, I couldn't have it at that price.
Seems sure. I think if you're not on, you can definitely wait. Yeah, you can definitely wait. As lovable as he is. We had a bit of a farce in the Betfair Hurdle, Dave, where they went to do the proper start, didn't do it, and then they did a standing start. And if you're on a few horses like Not So Sleepy and stuff, you may as well just packed up.
Yeah, I understand the logic of doing a standing start, but give him more than one chance.
Exactly, that's where it's flawed.
Yeah. If they had 2 or 3 goals that they would have got off and it would have been fine. Now I know they're under pressure with timings now, and they're trialing these new odd minute
Odd
starts
time
and
starts,
like that. So they're under pressure that way, and people giving out that there's split screens and stuff like that, racing TV and all that. But for race of the day, the big handicap of the year, really, Betfair Hurdle, like, it's a massive race. They need to be doing more to make sure everyone has a fair crack from the start.
Yeah, I was I was massively disappointed about it because my nap of the weekend ran in the race, never adapt, jump one hurdle, and that's nothing to do with the stand and start, I would imagine. But as a bit of a race, it kind of fell apart, Damo. I mean, we had a nice winner in P. Dorey, who I think Paul Nicholls has said is one of the best he's ever had, and finally get to win a big race. But he went off completely unfancied, 33-1. And my view on this race is, if we hadn't have had the fast at the start, and say Never Adapt hadn't pulled up after the first, and there was a few hard luck stories after that fall at the last.
A lot of ifs.
Well, I reckon there's 5 or 6 horses that would have beat that horse that didn't even get to finish the race.
I don't know. I watched it back last night, and the way he picked Dory was travelling 2 out. You would have picked him out in any race in the country. It was the way he travelled, the way he jumped. I thought at the end he didn't really want it that much, but he was just good enough to carry himself over the line. I think some of those horses behind, once they're okay, I think they might have got away with one here, and they'll go into Cheltenham a much better handicap than they might have been had they bumped into him. Pick Dory for me would have been in the first 3 no matter what happened. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, really, really good. The standing start, I completely agree with Dave. I understand why it happens, but there should be 3 to 4 goes first. I just think it's a real travesty when they line up like that. Like, even Not So Sleepy ended up back in the field when that horse needs to be front running. But look, these things happen. It's a big handicap. There's absolutely nothing to say that a horse could have ran across another horse anyway during it. All I know is that for the race that did happen, Pick Dory was outstanding, really, really good, and interesting to see where they go with him. But obviously his marking will be shot to bits. Probably worth giving him a go at the champion hurdle, because
I think he only got £5.
Yeah,
did he?
like they
got 5 up to
they
like
don't increase
151,
for that much.
152.
Like, the handicap would be very happy with that result, I think, because he all kind of finished in the heap. Like,
Yeah,
there
the
was
ones
5 or
that
6
finished
in
were all
the
there.
The 2 that I took out of it, obviously the second, CLD Urge, he was in front in sufferance for a long time.
Early,
Way too early. Something for the likes of a county hurdle. There's a fine record of place finishers winning that race, obviously, over the last 20 years. So CLD Urge can continue that, and Zanza came from an absolute mile back the field, which very few horses did. Lost a shoe as well, jumping the last, and managed to stay on to 6th. And Zanza will still get in of a very nice mark into a handicap. The way he ran was really eye-catching. So Zanza definitely, just for the fact that he was one of the only ones to come from where he did come from, and then to lose a shoe as well, then jumping the last, and to still get home like he did, I think he's one to take forward. But it's a race not to get married up too much.
I'm more interested in those in behind, like Mac the Man, who was going so well, Harambe, who was creeping into it, the Banner King Rebel, who ran so well until just kind of weakened out of it. I think that one will still come forward, and obviously Never Adapt, but we learnt nothing.
Yeah, the thing with Zanza, though, just pointing that I fallen into the Zanza trap before.
The Zanza trap.
He needs it bottomless and needs horses stopping in front. I backed him in the Greatwood, and he ran no sort of race. Like, he was all out for miles. I don't think he really likes Cheltenham either, so I'd probably be. He keep on the radar. Like, he'd probably be a big price again. So
yeah, no, he struck me as something now. He struck me as an entry handicap hurdle winner. I thought.
That's
okay. Anything go into the notebooks from last weekend that we need to keep on the radar?
Ocean Wind won the bumper on the Saturday at Newbury. That bumper is actually a very good trial generally for the champion bumper at Cheltenham, and this horse couldn't have won it more impressively. Was absolutely outstanding. He will appreciate it. Something to think about if he does go. Flinter Sacra, which is obviously a sprinter. Sacra's brother was actually very good, I thought. Yeah. He's something to take forward. And an old boy that we all love here in Ireland, Atois Phil, was a bit of an eye catcher behind Native River. He jumped really well and actually stayed on quite well at the end, and he's kind of getting down to the kind of mark where, you know, you wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe go well in something like a Came Weir or something like that. He's a terrifically classy horse.
I think they have national aspirations with him.
They're going to have 17 the national, like.
Well, he was sold last year.
Yeah, he's with Gary Moore now. So yeah, I would love to see
They're going to have
him.
one in the national, I'd say.
He has his way for the national now, so I think something like a Kim Weir first. And I think he'll be staying all day. And just the way he ran there in a much better race, I think he ran excellently. And he's he's very good.
Something for the Welsh national team.
Yeah.
Something for the Welsh national, yeah.
I just had 3 for the weekend.
Yep.
Aramax, I thought did it well in that rated hurdle on Saturday. Price didn't suggest that he was going to be off on the day, but he won well at 7-2 by 8 lengths, and he's 4 times in with Wolf Prince, so he could be one for the Fred Winter or the Boodles, as it's called now.
Yep.
I thought Joe Anderson looked a claimer to follow. He won on Homer for Simon Munir and Nicky Henderson in the first race on Friday at Kempton. He's claiming 10, so he's probably stealing a few pounds off that for a while. And Kill from Cross ran on the same card on Friday, and he's another one for the Kim Muir. He finished second in it last year, and ran a nice race, finished second with a view to go back to Cheltenham.
Okay. There's one else we did miss off, and I think a lot of people were talking about is Chantry House.
Yeah, he was very good. I'm not sure what he's actually done yet. Like, you can't fault him. That race that he won at Cheltenham has quite worked out quite well. But it's I don't get Nicky Henderson at all. I mean, Chantry is his Ballymore horse, and Shiskin is his Supreme horse. Then Shiskin comes out and wins over 2-4 and
2-3, I think.
2-3, sorry, and Chantry House wins over 2. Just really, really odd preps. You can see why Nicky Henderson horse doesn't have the best record when it comes to the novice hurdles. That they're kind of tiptoed through the year. He could be a very good horse long term, but I'd be very keen to take him on.
I'd be amazed if Frank Berry's not on the phone to Nicky saying put him away and put him in a handicap there. He's got 139 as a rating. Like, that's very tempting.
140, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he's 140 now.
Yeah, 140.
Yeah. And they were trying to make comparisons with Shiskin, who's obviously rated a lot higher than that. It's hard to know which one's better because
it is, but there wasn't £13 between them. Very odd.
I'd be amazed if Chantry House wasn't the better horse. I really like him. I liked him as bumper last year. I liked him this year. I like the way he goes about his races. So I'd say he will be the best in time, but I think that rating might be a bit too tempting for him.
Could be right. There's lots of bingo to be played across the trainers as we get towards Cheltenham. Hendo is definitely buying a few extra cards for bingo this year. I don't know if that's a good analogy. Let's talk about the Tiger Roll national chat now, because for me, he got exactly what he should have in the Grand National, and the O'Learys are just looking for a bit of a row. But there is that comparison with Native River where if they're running in any other race, it would look a little bit unfair.
Yeah, I think that's the point. I think I don't think that they're cribbing too much about the rating he has, because he's deserved that. He's won 2 nationals in a row. You can't not be a 165,
as an
170
entry
horse.
rating. It's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's the difference between horses that finished behind them last year, that they are getting too much of a swing based on, and I'd say the O'Learys would argue that his name probably outweighs his ability. In a handicap race. Like, if you look at it on bare bones with, he's won 2 handicaps and won a couple of cross country races. He hasn't, and Native River is a Storms Gold Cup competitor. Who you could argue the case he hasn't run to the heights of his Gold Cup win when he beat Mike Bite a couple of years ago, but then you could argue that he's run to a solid 165, 167, 168 rating. Like, and for Tiger Roll to give him £4 is questionable. But then you bring in the age factor, and you could probably argue that's probably fair. Yeah. So I think Gordon kind of said yesterday in the at the lunch that he was happy enough with where he was. And I think the other areas are probably just arguing the case for the sake of it, because that's what they like to do. But
yeah, wouldn't it be great though for racing if they just came out and said, "That's grand, we're going for it."
Yeah, and it's you know, the two of them need to grow up. They really do. I'm literally couldn't be more sick of the two of their shite that they go on with. It's needless. We're a sport that's under attack from all around us, and for them to suggest that one of our own racehorses can't run because of a weight that he's getting,
this is worth picking up, because
it's a joke.
To suggest that it might not be fair to the horse
or safe for him to run in a race,
I don't like all
it's
that
ridiculous
stuff.
He's won the race twice. If it was like I can understand sometimes with the likes of like Vintage Cloud that they have entered now in the Grand National, when the horse clearly hates those fences, like he just shouldn't be near them, hates them. Like, I understand when people complain about that, but the likes of Tiger Roll, who adores it, who's won off 11 stone 12 in the past, he's a horse that has carried big weights, he's done it. The two of them need to grow up, and to be honest with you, the more that they go on with stuff like this, when they do leave the sport, it'll be nowhere.
You know, the biggest issue with the Grand National is only field size now. They got rid of everything else.
Every
that
other
was
problem
an
that's
issue.
there, yeah.
The field size is the thing. Someone could fall in front of you, and that makes it dangerous.
20 years ago, he could run off 9 stone 13 and he wouldn't have won a Grand National.
No chance.
With the size of him.
No chance.
So they're blessed with the way it's all worked out for them. The public adore him much more than the racing public. I mean, the general Irish public. He was at every sort of a conference during the summer, and he was at the
I went to a farmers event thing, and he turned up.
He was there,
for a
yeah.
walk around.
Do you know, like
pretty cool.
It's class, and for them to rob the public of that, because of a long-withstanding row that they have with the BHA, it would be ridiculous and very selfish. But I wouldn't put it past
They're
them.
not going to do it. They're going to run.
They're going to run it.
They're probably using Tiger Roll as a carrot in front of the BHA to argue for the likes of Dallas to Picton and stuff like that they're not happy with their
Well,
rating and
they
stuff
could
like
be
that.
more aggrieved with the Dallas to Picton thing.
Yeah, but I think they're kind of using Tiger Roll as a kind of.
Well, what's the point? They're on their way.
I know. I agree.
They're on their way, and they've been brilliant for racing.
They have.
So I'm not trying to dispute that. I just think the Grand National is not the tool to go to war with. And Tiger Roll, who's won it twice, pretty much as he liked. I know there was that Pleasant Company scare, but
still, he won as
and he had it sorted. He's a special horse. Let's just hope.
He's a special horse, and Keith Donoghue has spoken about this in his Bookmakers UK blog, which will be out later on today. And he said the exact same, that he's happy enough with the mark, he's happy enough with everyone else in the race, and he just thinks that he's the kind of horse that could win off that mark. No problem.
Yeah, he can. Yeah. He can. Certainly, the modern day national is set up for. He's designed for it. Which is great, and fingers crossed it happens, because I know it's probably only going to appeal to the few million that only watch racing on one day, but that's still great.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah, what price does he go off?
Shorter than he is now.
He goes off 5 to 2, does he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't buy into the fact that they're really considering not running him. So if you fancy Tiger Roll, you want to get involved.
Yeah,
what is he, 5-6 to 1 now?
I think a couple of firms went not under no bet now as well, because with the weights released. So
yeah, he got off. He has to go off shorter than that, because the public.
Well, on the day, like it'll be a plunge. Like it'll be if he's 5 say in the morning, he'll go off 5 to 2. Like
at least 5 to 2. Yeah.
Class.
Deadly. Imagine a 6 to 4 favourite in the Grand National.
So sorry, let's just get back to. Did you think of a horse when the weights came out that you liked for the national, taking Tiger Roll out of the equation?
A horse that I love for Cheltenham is Any Second Now, who I put up last week in my Bookmakers blog, and he'll be running off 10 stone 2. He looks born for a trip like that as well.
For Aintree.
Any Second Now for Aintree. So he'll get in off 10 stone 2. Obviously, you still have the same old questions about the fences and everything, but the way he's jumped around Cheltenham to win a Kim Weir last year, he should be absolutely fine.
Okay.
He'd have Derek O'Connor on his back as well, you'd imagine. So 10 stone 2 for me really, really caught my attention.
Okay.
I haven't had a proper look at it yet, and I won't till after.
I have the winner.
Okay.
Maybe in the without Tiger Roll market.
Yeah.
You know, Alfred is over.
Yeah, we can see that.
He ran really well over those fences last time, and Rachel could ride, which would be, Grand Nationals love delivering big stories. If it's not Tiger, that's the one I want it to be. That'd be pretty cool.
Can you imagine jumping the last stuff? She's side by side. You'd kill her. That would be the most quiet. Can you imagine? She catches Tiger Roll up the running and comes in, and they're all looking at her like, you.
I won't be quiet. I'll be happy enough. I'd imagine I'll be cheering her on. Because this is the one day a year that loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of people who never watch racing ever again watch racing. Tiger Roll's for them. Alfred will be for me. But you're happy either way. Okay, so we're going to take a very quick break now. When we come back, we will take a look at the weekend racing coming up from Ascot and Haydock and Wincanton. Fingers crossed all is going to go ahead, but we'll take a look at the early markets for it. And in the final part of the Racehour today, we're going to do the favourites, yes or no, across the Cheltenham Festival. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to the Racehour podcast, brought to you by bookmakers.co.uk. Check out bookmakers.co.uk each and every day for tips, news and the best odds for horse racing. Looking for a new bookmaker and the best sign-up offers in the industry? You'll find that at bookmakers.co.uk, sponsors of the Racehour.
Welcome back to the Racehour podcast, brought to you with our friends at bookmakers.co.uk. It's David Weldon, Diarmuid Nolan and myself, Dean Ryan, in the towers at bookmakers.co.uk. Let's take a look at the weekend racing to come. As I've said a couple of times already, fingers crossed that these storms get out of our way and we can actually get some jump racing back on the TV. Ascot, we might start there with Pim going for the Reynoldstown. I guess Henderson's a bit pissed that he hasn't got Champion here now.
Has to be. Obviously, Champ has had a nightmare preparation now, really, with that fall. And the worst part was for him is that, in my opinion, I thought he was actually jumping the best that he had on that day until he came down, but
it's a landing gear issue for me. I know it's not in
he's
this race, but it's just the way that the landing gear comes down.
Yeah, he's a big Larry dope, and he doesn't really think about things properly. To be honest, if there's a Grand National winner in this, or it's a Grand National winner, if there's an RSA winner in this Reynoldstown, I think it's Pim. His form is quite decent. That horse that he lost to Dayran the Canuck is obviously
Dayran de Kajak.
Dayran de Kajak. I have Eamon and Canuck in my head. It's not bad form at all, because that all links back in with
he's had
Champ as well.
Lovely under the radar prep.
Lovely
in
under the
fairness,
radar.
like we actually got one of the friends of mine who listens to the podcast called us out for doing an RSA preview the other week where we didn't mention Pim.
Yeah, so he's had a beautiful prep. That horse that he beat last time easily, Imperial Aura, he's really fancied for the handicaps at Cheltenham. So there is a good deal of collateral form there. I think 2-1 here is an absolute cracking price. The other horses, I think they all have fallen in so far, and I think he's by far the one to beat here.
Yeah, he could be the one to beat, but it's a pretty hot race. Like, they really think a lot of Sam Brown. 2 for Gold of Kim Bailey's has done that for, like, they're all good. Danny Whizbang could be anything yet.
Yeah, it's a cracking little race. Could be one of the races of the weekend. There's a very little between the top 5 in the market. Please God, they all get declared and we have a good race.
I think they're going to have to run that.
Exactly. You're not going to know with weather and all that. You're not going to know if you're going to get another race in. I like Pam. I like the way he goes about his races. He's a good attitude, and he stays out the 3 miles very well, which you might need on the heavy ground. 2 for Gold on a good bit of a run, and his run the last day was probably his best, but he really grafted it out in front of Holden Out. And Highest Sun was behind there, which kind of relates into Sam Brown and into Pim's form. And just at the prices, you're getting 11-2, about 2 for Gold. I'd take a chance on him that he'd be able to go from the front and get a good front run aggressive ride from Dave Bass. At 11-2, I think he could be the value in the race. I
just wonder with Pim whether they've gone hard enough at what the horse has under the bonnet yet. Now that might be a good thing, especially if you want to go and win an RSA. They haven't, then maybe overfaced it, but over hurdles didn't seem to go right for me either. I thought there was more hype behind it as a hurdler. It didn't really happen.
Yeah, well, it was kind of the next horse that came out and them
colours don't help.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of expectation.
And the way he won the first day, I think over hurdles, kind of it was very Altior-esque, So like his hurdle forms work out well. He beat the Cashman and whatever, but his jumps form is good, and he's improved. According to the handicapper, he's improved 15 pounds this year for fences. So if he has improved that, he has to have every chance.
Yeah, and he's in the box seat, as in going to get the ideal race to go and run in a prep. Sam Brown's interesting, but whether it's all heavy ground form makes you a little bit concerned about what they might face this weekend.
Haydock form as well.
He kind of fell in last time in Haydock.
Yeah, I mean they really like it. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'd expect Pim to be good enough, but I think it's a hot enough race. He's not on my radar for an RSA yet. But let's see what happens this weekend. 205 at Haydock is the Rendlesham Hurdle. It's for the kind of Paisley Park pretenders.
Yeah, it's a race I've absolutely no interest in. It's horses that aren't good enough to win elsewhere. And whilst it's obviously they're all horses you'd absolutely love to own, it's not a race I'm keen to get involved in at all.
You don't have any selection, Dave?
I liked Warren Greatrick's horse, Emma Tom. He finished second last year at Aintree at the Grand National Festival behind Champ by 3 lengths. That's good enough form. He was coming back off a layoff behind Somerville Boy in the Racehour hurdle on New Year's Day. With improvement of a run behind him now, I think he could step forward, and he's around 6-1, so I'd take a chance on him.
Yeah, I'd be with you. I mean, I think we know everything we need to know about the rest of these runners. Emma Tom could still step forward, 6-year-old taking on a couple of 10-year-olds and a 9-year-old that we know very well. Liz Nagara-Oscar is an interesting runner in here. You'd imagine that's a decent yardstick for them all to go and beat. It's overstaying trips. Like, I know there's still more of a ceiling there with Liz Nagara-Oscar if they get it right for Rebecca Curtis. A couple of old stages in there. I'd be with Emma Tom. I think that's a decent enough shout for that race. What about the 225 at Ascot, which is the Kelbrae Swinley Chase? Regal Encore came right last time. It's going to be close enough to the top of the market. Chance of that repeating that run limited, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Consistency is something that you would not put alongside Regal Encore. A lot of these are really, really nice horses. You're just kind of wondering which ones will actually rock up, because I see Ballyoptics in the Grand National Trial as well. So you're kind of looking on to see maybe who will turn up here. But the one that the favourite, just to be a bit boring for once, Damon the Lyle, that was a really good performance last time. The Lyle or the Lille or whatever the hell you put it. Definitely won last time, I thought, a bit more snugly than we'll give him credit for, and won that very, very well. Only gone up £5 here, so there's definitely is more in that. Mark was kind of involved in form with Sam's Adventure before that. It was a horse that I think there is more to come from, and this horse won very well. He's coming forward in his career, whilst I think a lot of these are going backwards, and I think he's one that, whilst he's 5-1 or so, I think I'll be quite confident that he'll definitely be in the first three, and I think he'll win.
Okay, you like Domaine de Lille?
Domaine de Lille,
yeah, well done.
There's a reason I don't tip up French named horses.
You can't say it. You and Bruce Millington.
Yeah, I like Regal Encore here.
Really?
Yeah, like I
really love Regal Encore, but I didn't catch him right, so now I'm fed up with him.
He's £6 lower than when he finished third in this race last year, and his last 4 runs at Ascot are 1, 2, 3, 1. So he's clearly a bit of an Ascot specialist, and Richie McLaren's already jocked up. Richie McLaren's a very talented jockey and gets the best out of these kind of roguish type horses, and I think 7-1 is a gift.
I like On the Blind Side. And I can't believe it's on 145.
But he's been there a while now.
I know, but he's run really well. He ran really well here behind Riders on the Storm. He ran well enough, I thought, behind Vindication. He was an absolute blot. Could beat 10 lengths. And then behind Finger on the Switch at Kempton, the jumping isn't quite there.
Kempton was never going to suit him.
Yeah,
really.
I agree.
He's a hold-up horse.
And horses, if they have a bad run at Kempton, I generally take less of a view of it.
Yeah, no, I can see the angle, but he needs to do it now.
Yeah, I think that he has to do it here.
Yeah.
On the Blind Side would be my pick in this race, as much as it's full of a few old favourites. Okay, what about the Betway Kingwell Hurdle at Wincanton? Fuso Raffles has dropped off the champion hurdle picture, but could go right back into it for winning this. Probably not the strongest field in the world, but the reputation at home, the thoughts about where Fuso Raffles might end up before the last run, which obviously was a disaster. 5-2 favourite for the Kingwell, Dave.
Yeah, it's a nice little race. Like, just take it for just what it is, as a Grade 2 2-mile hurdle, and forget about the champion hurdle for a second. Like, you've song for someone who was a length behind Thomas Darby in that good Ascot race the last time. Quell Destin has done nothing wrong and is a good yardstick. Good 156 horse. And then if he was Raffles, who had all the form in the world last year as a juvenile, and obviously was not right the last day, and the market kind of told you that as well with the plunge for Epitante on the day. And then you've got yardsticks and Chittabello and Elgin as well. I would probably just take a chance on that Fuso Raffles is the horse I think he is, and at 5-2 I could probably see him going off shorter if he's fancied. If he's not, you'll probably know you've done your dough before the race, gone by the market move on him.
Yeah, if Fuso Raffles is supported and they think they got it right, that for me it'd probably win. But there's a couple of real fascinating horses in here, Demo. If they run Master Debonair, Quick Grabham's entered. A couple of interesting runners. What's Master Debonair doing in there?
No idea. Has other plans obviously as well, but you think that they might just want to run, and they could just be deciding that they have better novices for Cheltenham. So something like this is a bit of
fascinating placement for me.
Pot hunting, yeah. But I thought Elgin is very interesting here. He's had his problems. He hasn't ran since 2018, but this was a horse who was 5th behind Bouverdaire in a champion hurdle. I don't think many of these are capable of that. He's a great with hurdle winner. He's a horse that was he was flying along in the flat as well then when they moved him there, and it was only he got injured on the July course at Newmarket. His form really, really stacks up. This Fuso Raffles, I'm just not convincing him at all, and I think as much as I did value the Triumph form, you have to admit when you're wrong, and I think that form is just highly questionable now. So I'd be keen to take him on here, and I think Elgin is the one going forward too. He's getting weight and everything else as well. He's on a lovely mark, and as far as this race goes, and I think he'll take a lot of stopping.
If something was to win,
if he's right from his break, obviously.
If something was to win this race, well, it's in the champion hurdle picture.
Yeah.
Has to be
100%.
Like if you look at the yardsticks there, you got Chitabello, Keldestan, Song for Someone. It would have to be.
Dave's right though. The one here that has the potential to win this en route to maybe winning a champion hurdle is Fusel Raffles, really. Like the rest of the week, we really do know where we stand with the rest of them. I'm relying on Fusel Raffles not being what we thought he was, which I still do believe. But if there is a horse who can do it, the double, it's him.
If Elgin did come up and win by a couple of lengths, like he'd be second, third favourite in
like,
champion hurdle.
An improved performer.
The only thing with Elgin is like Alan King's yard has been in horrific form for the last couple of weeks. He's one winner in the last 23 runners.
Elgin's not responsible for any of that because we've not seen it for a long time. But I get you.
You'd imagine he would need to run as well, coming back off a break.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's been dropped. The handicapper dropped him £7-8 down to 154. So maybe they're just getting a run into him.
Yeah, he's 9-1 though. So I think he's more than an each way bet. I think if this race is here to be won,
you're already getting 2 places as well for the each ways.
What do we make of Quick Grab'em? Because formerly a Grade 1 winner for Willie Mullins. Now with Fergal O'Brien ran in the Epatante race, nothing went. It didn't do anything really. Now on 146, there's a handicap there.
Yeah. I'm not sure his form amounts to anything really. I'd be definitely plotting for handicapping him.
Yeah, well, it might come together after this.
The owner and the trainer kind of said that it was a champion hurdle campaign this year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
they should be looking elsewhere.
If it flops in this, they're going to have a very attractive mark for a Cheltenham handicap, I would imagine, and they're big pots there too. Okay, what about then the 3 o'clock at Ascot? Ed Underwho is likely to be the favourite for David Pipe. His handicap hurdle there. I have to say I have no strong view on this at all, so I'm happy to pass over. I know one of I think it's one of your favourites, isn't it? Jolly's cracked it, Dave.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, he's an Ascot specialist as well, but I'm going against him here now. He's had a few more runs than he's used to, so he's probably going to pick up a knock or something like that. But it is second run after wind up, which I like. The one I'm going to go for is unexposed one that used to be trained in Ireland, and that's Marlborough Sounds. 12-1. Finished first time over hurdles, finished second behind West Cork. That form's been franked again since, and running off here off 132. Amy Murphy probably needs a bit of a change in look after what happened to Kalashnikov last week. So I'd be hopeful that he will run a big race, and he was rated 80 on the flat, 82 on its peak, and rating 132 is probably workable enough.
Yeah, okay. Marlborough Sounds interesting running then the 3 o'clock at Ascot. Dermo?
Yeah, I thought Holy Milan should go very well here. Was coming to win that race last time. Dorking Bay, who reopposes, was running that day and ended up winning it, but completely by default. I thought this horse had it all sewn up. 7-1 with the marquees on, and Robbie Dunn's already jocked up, who I think is one of the most underrated jockeys there is around. He's outstanding. And this horse, Holy Milan, if getting a bit more luck, I think should take a lot of stopping. Okay.
I mean, there is one that I'll probably back if it does run. That's Malaya, on the basis of the win off 136 at Sandown back in, when was that, March? Year or so ago. So I would be interested in that if it runs with Paul Nicholls' horses picking up similar colours, same colours as P. Dorey, I think. Not that makes much difference, but Malaya would be interested in double figures if it does pitch up, does like the track as well at Ascot. What about then the 3:15 at Haydock, which is the Grand National Trial? Plenty of these, as you were pointing out, Dermo, have got some double entries. Do you have a fancy in the race though, Dermo?
Yeah, I thought the most common sense winner of the whole weekend is Paul Nicholls' Truckers Lodge. I just see he's on such a good mark. He's not going to get into the Grand National, so he's going to run here. He'll be off for his life, you'd imagine, because there's kind of nothing else. Whilst a lot of these other horses, whilst they will obviously want to win and take part, this isn't their big target of the year. It's all about edging towards that big race in Liverpool in a few weeks' time. But this horse will be off for his life. That was a big second behind Potter's Corner in the Welsh National. So he's very well in. He's been backed accordingly, and I think 7-2. I take it now because I just think he's
a bit bigger around still.
So like just he definitely is. He's meant to be running in this, and I've taken it now anyway. There's 5-1 around the place. And I just think he's a whopping bet.
Truckers Lodge, Dave, what do you like?
Yeah, no, I like Truckers Lodge, and can see the argument already. He ran well in the Welsh National last day. Most of his form is based around Chepstow though, so it would worry me a little bit. It's not really a race I've delved too much into. Like the Two Amigos, if he gets a soft lead in front, could go off and not be sighted again, and he's off a low enough mark as well that he this could be his day. And just an interesting runner at a big price was One Style for Vanish Williams. Now she's been a bit in and out of form over the last month or so. but that's kind of normal with Venetia. Once the ground goes back good, but it's heavy ground. It's 10-year-old, won its last 2 runs. Showed no reform really before the improvement, and we'll be running off a featherweight here. And just at a big price, could be just one that is underestimated in the market.
Okay. Ramsey's to Telly would interest me on likely ground conditions and in the form, but I don't know if they're going to.
I don't know if they're going the Alberta route, are they?
Yeah, this would be an odd race take on route to that.
Yeah.
But I do say it is entered in there. The other one was Elegant Escape, but I think definitely the ground needs to dry up a little bit for that one to get involved off 11-12. So fascinating race. Truckers Lodge is an obvious pick.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put anyone off getting involved with that horse. Fascinating race then of the weekend, perhaps, maybe not from a betting point of view, but Surname against Riders on the Storm and Froden, St Calvados, Janica, Top Notch and Traffic Fluid. That is the full field for the Betfair Ascot Chase at Ascot on Saturday. Surname going to take some stopping.
Yeah, he really showed for all intents and purposes. Altior in a way has come out and franked that form since. Has to be forgiven. Christmas time, him and Altior weren't right for a long time after their battle. I'd say they just took an awful lot out of each other, I think, more than anything else. And as much as I respect the Nigel Twiston Davis runner and all the other horses in the race, if this horse shows up and he's fully popped and he's fully going, they won't see what way.
Well, on ratings they got him out of the fight.
They won't see what way he
as
went,
good as they all are. Riders on the Storm is a fascinating horse because we really liked him last year, and he's blossomed at Nigel Twiston Davis's yard.
Kate Page has backed up his form since as well, and
he looks just like a beast who loves racing, which I like. Real terror-esque type. Any reason to take on Surname, Dave?
No, but the price is worrying me a little bit. Like if
what's worrying you?
It looks massive. Like 1-2 on Surname's home ground. Conditions we know he loves. Conditions he's showed himself to be probably one of the highest rated horses in training. Yet he's 1-2 against, and Riders on the Storm is 3-1 when he has to give £15 on official ratings off level weights. Like he should be 1-4. No, am I reading that wrong?
No, I wouldn't like necessarily argue with you. But 1-2's like they want to take some money on the race.
Yeah, but like
I know they don't want to give it away, but
you're getting like half your money back. Like, you know, it's looks a gift. Like looks one for multis, doubles, trebles for the weekend. Like, you know, I just stick that in and watch it accumulate up. Last leg going on to you.
Few of these would be quite happy to finish sort of 15-20 legs behind and like, set themselves up perfectly for a crack at the festivals.
It's basically it's a free bit of work for, not a free bit of work, obviously there's entry fees and stuff like that and there's prize money to be won, but the likes of St Calvados and Frodon, like there's getting a bit of fitness that you can't get at home, get on the race course.
Should Surname be going to Cheltenham after this?
Yeah.
Should.
No, he can't go left-handed, so no.
Yeah, well, I might be running them because
you should be running, I think.
No, he can't go. But a horse dictates to you what they do, and this horse has clearly shown.
Why has he entered in the Queen Mother and the Rhino?
Because you just do it just in case everything else gets sick.
Can't go that way.
Just in case everything else gets sick.
In case I won run a race and he can.
Yeah. He'd be 2-1 if there was any chance for the Ryanair.
Yeah, that's why the price keeps looking big.
He's not going.
He's entered.
Yeah. What price is non-runner? I'll bet.
He'd be shorter than that. I don't know. Okay.
Fair.
It's a cracking race. I think everyone will be just wanting to see Surname go and do what he does and then watch the others in behind. Riders on the Storm, though, this is one concern. Riders on the Storm seems to be a horse that loves it and going to try and chase Surname. That's a big job for Sam not to...
and that kind of opens up then the Benie without market.
But I also think that's a big job for Sam not to leave everything behind in this when you've got such a good horse to go and chase.
Wouldn't be Sam's forte as well.
I don't know.
Looking after the horse.
I don't know if I could do what... I don't know if I could do enough to leave a horse like that who loves it so much that far back or that, you know, to try... If you go head to head with this horse, we've seen what it did to Altior. You know, none of these are in that level. So
like he's probably going to get a soft lead. I can't imagine them letting Frolan take him on either.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay. There's a puzzle. We'll see it. Obviously, we think we know the winner, but what's going to happen in behind?
Surname's 6-1. Non-runner, I'll bet for Ryanair.
Yeah. Well, won't be 6-1 if it turned up, would it? No. Or would it, Demo? Because everyone knows it can't go that way.
Yeah, like he's that price now running no bet, so I think that is a price that he probably would turn up. I mean, it's there's massive doubts over, and if A Plutard and Min showed up there's no reason he wouldn't be that price.
Okay, I need a nap for you for the weekend racing we've just been through. I can go first while you compose yourself. I think on the blind side, as a handicap bet off 145, it doesn't happen this time, won't happen. So I'll go with on the blind side in the 225 at Ascot.
Trucker's Lodge in Haydock at 3:15.
Yeah, okay.
First week in ages, we have an actual Trixie between us.
No way.
Marber Sounds and the 3 o'clock at Ascot.
Marble sounds okay. All right, so we've at least we've not opposed each other. That's nice. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do favourites, yes or no, across the Cheltenham anti-post markets.
Don't delay. Head over to bookmakers.co.uk today.
Welcome back to the Race Hour, brought to you with our friends at bookmakers.co.uk. Diarmuid Nolan, David Weldon and myself, Dean Ryan, ready to play yes or no across the perceived Cheltenham Festival bankers. Now, when we did this last year, chaps, we had some actual bankers to talk about. I think the markets are far more fluid this time round, and it was around the same time of the year that we did it as well. So I've got 12 to go through. I want quick responses. Is it the right favourite, yes or no? That's the key bit. I'm going to keep tally, hopefully end up with some kind of anti-post selections based on the favourites for the Cheltenham Festival.
Are we saying it's the right favourite, or would we back it at that price?
I think what we played last year was, is this the right favourite? That's what we played. Someone listened back to it and we did something completely different, but I think that's what we did, right? So we're going to go in day order, and this is where we've got a clear favourite in the races. So races like the Champion Chase, the Ryanair, stuff like that, I skipped over because anything could be favourite still. Okay. All right, here we go then. So Shiskin is the current clear favourite for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Diarmuid Nolan, is it the right favourite?
No.
No. Okay. Dave Weldon.
No.
I'm a no as well.
Yeah.
Shiskin gets a 0 and 3. Goodbye, Shiskin. Okay, let's do the Arkle Notebook. Is it the right favourite, David Weldon?
Yes.
Yes, but I would add on a caveat that I would not be backing it at that price. But
That's
yes,
not the question.
He is the right favourite.
Answer the goddamn question.
He is the right favourite.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, which means it can't go on the list. So
Who should be favoured over him?
something who's a better hurdler.
But hang on, but based on all known chase form, he has to be the favourite.
No,
Okay.
that's my view.
Okay.
So no, wrong favourite. I take your point though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I should row back.
Never roll back, Dean. Never roll back.
No, I kind of like Dermo's caveat. We're messing this up now. All right, I'm going to say yes, the right favourite. So Notebook gets 3. I need to play the game properly if I'm bloody hosting it. All right, here we go. So Champion Hurdle, Epatante, is it the right favourite is the question. Dermo.
No.
Interesting. Dave.
Yes. Like,
There's a few caveats in here in that Benie could go or Honeysuckle could go, but probably both won't go.
even if Honeysuckle went on 2 mile form, you'd have to say Epatante probably well favourite.
Probably favourite. But if Benie goes,
On 2 mile form.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm going to say, yeah, it is the right favourite, but again, no, not one I can touch. Are you saying it's the right favourite?
Yes.
Are you saying it's the right favourite, Demo? This is harder than last year because we had bankers.
This is ridiculous.
What was favourite last year?
I'm going to operate on the assumption that Benie do could actually rock up here and say that if they do go off, Benie would go off favourite because she's a better mare than Epatante. So I'm going to stick with no.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say yeah, but no way I'm backing it.
But she's not on the list, so I'm happy as well.
Epatante is gone. Notebook is the only one so far to make it through the list, and we're still on day one. Mare's Hurdle actually involves a similar horse because we have Benie de Dieu.
I think we know our answer here. We're going on.
So is Benie de Dieu the right favourite for the Mare's Hurdle? Yes.
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 Oh, no. Poor Honeysuckle. What have we done to our girl?
Grand, we're covering.
She wins, I think, but she still shouldn't be favoured
We
over
said
Benie.
Benie was the right favourite last year, and look what happened.
Correct.
So we'll do that again, and we saw back Honeysuckle.
Well, we already have.
Yeah.
Okay, so Benie gets a yes. Okay, all right, that's day one. And that's not quite day one because there is the National Hunt Chase, the 3 mile sixer, as Dermo likes to call it. And Carefully Selected is top of the market here. Clear favourite, in fairness. So
Yeah.
day one,
Not for me, no.
not the right favourite.
Yes, not the right favourite.
Correct. Dermo.
Not the right favourite on any day of the week, no.
I'm a no. So that's a 0 from 3. Gets absolutely wiped out. That's carefully selected. So far, Shiskin and carefully selected have had the dreaded curse. So there's 2 winners for you.
Back
for the
them, lads,
Cheltenham
back them.
That'll be a good thing, yeah.
I think this one might be quick. Envoy Allen in the Ballymore novices header. Is it the right favourite?
Yes.
Yes.
No, there's no caveat needed there.
No, I would like to see him have another run.
Is it the right favourite?
Yes, it is the right favourite. Of course it is.
Envoy Allen, I'm going to say yes. So we've now got 3 on the yes, it's the right favourite list. So Envoy Allen gets on the box. Okay, the RSA chase. We do have a clear favourite here. It's Champ. Is Champ the right favourite for the RSA? Dave Weldon.
No.
Oh God, no. Dear God, no.
I'm gonna.
Is that a yes?
I'm gonna say yes, the right favourite, but I wouldn't touch it. Okay, so Champ gets a 2 and 1, so not quite on the coffin box list. That's a bad phrase to use. Actually,
It is, yeah.
Yeah, not Champ is not for us.
He can't be the right favourite with a fall on his last
Yeah,
run.
we've answered the question.
So,
We're okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
jumps, yeah.
We're going to skip the Champ Chase because it's too close to decide who is actually favourite there. On the Wednesday, Tiger Roll will go again at Cheltenham, try and win again at Cheltenham in the cross-country chase. Is Tiger Roll the right favourite? Dermo.
Last year we all took him on last year, but then on the day we stood in Cheltenham going, oh no, he wins this easy. So look, Tiger Roll turns up for this. I think his Grand National mark really does kind of shout that maybe that race should have handicaps to cross country, because how he runs off levels with some of them is insane. So yeah, Tiger Roll wins with
Is he the right favourite?
he'd win with 2 of us on board, so yes.
He's the right favourite. Okay, Dave.
yes, dude.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. Oh dear. Tiger Roll, we've cast you. Tiger Roll gets a 3 from 3. Okay, let's do the champion bumper where we do have a clear favourite. Actually, one of the clearest favourites of Cheltenham is Appreciate It in the champion bumper. Pretty simple one for me. Yes, it's the right favourite.
Yes, that's the right favourite.
Dave Weldon. Oh, is it the right favourite is the question.
Yeah,
Don't
but I'm
start,
not
mulling over.
Backing it.
Doesn't matter whether you're going to back it.
Yeah.
Is it the right favourite?
Yeah.
Appreciate gets a 3 from 3. Okay. We are moving on. Let's go to the Stayers. Paisley Park is the favourite. Another one of the clearest favourites of the Cheltenham Festival.
What do you think your answer's going to be here? Like, no.
Still have to ask you the question. Is Paisley Park the right favourite for the Stayers header?
Yes, naturally.
Yes, and there's no point of opposing him.
3 from 3 for Paisley Park because it obviously gets the tick from me. Okay, then. What about where are we going? We are at the Albert Bartlett. Now, not one of the shortest favourites on this list, but it's on the list because it is favourite with everybody, and that is Time Hill in the Albert Bartlett. Is it the right favourite, Dave?
Based on the body of work, yes, it is the right favourite.
Thank you. Dermo?
No, it is not.
Not the right favourite?
No.
Okay.
Can we get him to explain himself?
No, well, I'm going to say it is the right favourite, and now I'm going to ask Dermo, what should be the actual favourite for that race?
As much as I've been taking him on all year, I think Ladies Exhibition winning that great one last time at
Makes it favourite.
Leverstown favourite should make him
You
favourite.
make it favourite,
I think
okay.
I think it's just the champion perform is probably just keeping Time Hill where he is, but over hurdles, Ladies Exhibition has achieved more.
Okay. The Gold Cup is the final race, the final one of 12 that we're going to get through in this before I kind of surmise where we're at with our list of favourite the right favourite or the wrong favourite. Boum Photo is favourite for the Gold Cup. Is it the right favourite, Derma?
Yes.
Okay. Dave?
No.
I'm going to say no.
2 Egypts.
Boum Photo is off the list. Okay.
He's following the same routine as he did last year. Please explain yourselves, both of you.
It's harder to win Gold Cup 2 years in a row.
You don't see them winning back to back, and it's probably a better race this year.
I understand and I agree with that logic of that. I won't be backing him myself. But the figures he actually put up at Termore this year was higher, which means that he goes into this with a proven path, which means that he's the Gold Cup favourite.
But Delta Works won 2 grade ones.
Yeah. And Delta Work
should probably be favourite.
Do you know, it's not really a caveat, but I'd have them all around 5 to 1.
Yeah.
So to make one slightly shorter, just to make it
Yeah.
favourite.
No, I understand
Boum, Santini, Delta Work, Lost in Translation of hadn't run the last day, they'd all be
If I
similar
was doing my tissue, you'd be 4 to 1 the field, like 3 or 4 to 1.
but
4
with
to
more
1,
than
like.
just Boum Photo.
Yeah.
Okay, so going down through the list then, 3 horses got absolutely no votes as being the right favourite. Shiskin, Champ, and carefully selected. So if you want a treble that goes against the Racehour panel's view, that is the treble to get stuck into. But I'm going to row back on what I said about Notebook and take that off the list because I immediately said no. So I'm going to go back to immediately saying no. So that one only gets 2 out of 3. But there are 4 horses that did get 3 out of 3s. They are Envoy Allen in the Ballymore, Tiger Roll in the cross country chase, Appreciate It in the Champion Bumper, and Paisley Park in the Stayers Hurdle. If you do want to get involved, I'm reliably informed this is around a 29-1 4-timer. Last year's 4-timer did not work, but we had Honeysuckle and stuff like that in there, which did hurt. Would you be getting involved with those 4 now that we've obviously gone this really in-depth analysis into into the anti-post markets?
I would actually add a 29-1. That actually does sound like a bet to me.
Envoy Allen's going to win the Ballymore, right?
Yeah. Paisley Park wins the Stairs.
Going to win the Stairs. Tiger Roll, all being well this weekend in the Boyne Hurdle and goes to Cheltenham, going to win the cross country.
Going to win the cross country, yep.
And Appreciate It on what we've seen is going to win the bumper.
Yep.
Job done. All right. Thanks very much, Dave Weldon, Diarmuid Nolan, myself, Dean Ryan, and thanks to bookmakers.co.uk. This has been the Racehour. We'll be back again next week. Fingers crossed, racing is on this weekend. Do enjoy all the action.
You've been listening to The Race Hour, brought to you by bookmakers.co.uk, your best bet for tips, news and bookmaker reviews.